Remember when Donald Trump promised to end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours of becoming president-elect? And then that shifted to, I will end it within 24 hours of becoming president. It turns out that it's not going to happen, and expectations are now being downplayed a little bit. I want to break down with you how this fantasy fell apart in record time. Let's start with some of the claims that Donald Trump previously made about this. A lot of these, I think, will ring a bell.
I would fix that within 24 hours. And if I win, before I get into the office, I will have that war settled. 100% sure. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after I win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and we'll do it quickly. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after I win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and it will settle with Ukraine and Russia. I will get them to settle that war very quickly, even before I become president, as a president-elect. Ukraine and Russia, the stupidity with I will get that negotiated and ended before I ever take office. I'll do it after the election as president-elect. I would get a settlement in 24 hours, and even now I could solve that in 24 hours.
So, 24 hours, within 24 hours of becoming president-elect, or at least the peace talks would start within 24 hours of becoming president-elect, and then the war would be over within 24 hours of becoming president. Well, none of it is going to happen. Ukraine envoy Keith Kellogg, who is Donald Trump's designee to take care of this, says the new goal is to end the war within 100 days of the start of Donald Trump's presidency. February, March, April, plus 10 days. I guess May 1st is the new deadline. And at that point, Trump can say, turns out it's a little more complicated than I thought. Who knew that this would be so difficult? Here's Keith Kellogg saying 24 hours. No.
We'll set the conditions for the president, and then he'll eventually get to a position where he'll be talking to President Putin and also President Zelensky as well. And I think they're going to come to a solvable solution in the near term.
A solvable solution, great.
Term. And when I say by the near term, I would like to set a goal on a personal level and professional level. I would say let's set it at 100 days and move our way back and figure a way we can do this in the near term to make sure that this solution is solid, it's sustainable, and that this war ends and so that we stop the carnage. And I think that's going to be very, very important.
Get used to Trump reneging on his promises. Lower egg prices. Turns out it's going to be a little bit difficult. Ending the war in Ukraine within 24 hours of whatever, that's not going to happen either. And as is always the case, 24 hours, 24 days, 100 days. 100 days is not unreasonable. It's just not what Trump promised he would do. Where is the plan? There are no details. There's not even a framework. And this is not me saying we need to know every detail. This is just like with healthcare. This is just like with the wall Mexico is going to pay for. This is just like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that Jared Kushner was going to end during Donald Trump's first term. There is not even a concept of a plan. Now, there is reporting that the real strategy here might involve Trump delaying Ukraine's NATO membership by 20 years in exchange for peacekeepers and weapons. And that's the classic everybody loses other than Vladimir Putin type of deal. Because if that's the sort of arrangement Trump makes, the fact that Ukraine is going to get weapons means that Putin can justify continuing the aggression, and Putin also gets to keep Ukraine out of NATO for a period of time, which is something he also wants. And the Kremlin ends up as happy as they could possibly be. Putin's team has already signaled that they're ready to talk. Why wouldn't they be? Because Trump's plan sounds like a gift to Putin. Roll back NATO, give Russia leverage and a justification for continuing to do what it wants to do. And of course, European allies are getting increasingly nervous. According to the Financial Times, Trump's team doesn't seem to know what they're doing. One European official said they're scrambling to avoid comparisons to the Biden Afghanistan withdrawal, which is a translation for we're worried this is going to become a complete and total mess. And even Trump's supposed friends are already hedging. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni recently met with Trump, I think at Mar-a-Lago, said she doesn't believe the United States is going to abandon Ukraine. But she is saying nothing about any of Trump's timelines, the 24 hours before, the 24 hours after, the 100 days, none of it. And European leaders are practically begging the United States to stay engaged because they know that if the US pulls support, Putin wins, and it will embolden every single authoritarian out there. We spoke with Anne Applebaum last week about that, and that's exactly what would take place. So what's happening here is classic Trump. The 24-hour solution was never real. It was a campaign promise. It was meant to sound tough. It was meant to be repeated by Trump's low information acolytes at rallies when Luke Beasley would go and interview them. But now that he's facing the reality of governance, the goalposts start to shift. First, it was a day. Then it's a day after being sworn in. Now it's 100 days as the personal and professional goal of Kellogg, who's going to be in charge. 100 weeks, maybe, is going to be the next thing. And this is the same thing we've seen from Trump all along. Big claims, no substance, no plan, no accountability when the promises fall apart, and usually moving on to something else. So if you thought the first term was chaotic and bad, and it was, the sequel is really shaping up to be a bigger disaster. And there are two layers of lies. The first one is Trump was going to do it within a day of becoming president-elect. Now it's within a day of becoming president, except that's already been canceled. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if this continues for years, just like it already has. If Trump manages to end it, then I will give him credit. Of course, if he manages to end it by giving Putin everything, it's not really going to be a super exciting thing to write home about, that's for sure. Men in the audience, this is for you. One of our new sponsors is Integrated Men, an online support community dedicated to helping men reclaim their power, break free from outdated masculinity norms, and find purpose. Integrated Men hosts weekly meetings that guide men in overcoming shame and self-limiting beliefs. If you feel lost, stuck, or like you're just trying to please others at the expense of your own happiness, this community can help you break free. It's not about pretending everything's easy. It's about embracing the chaos, facing fears, learning how to live with real integrity. They help men confidently into their purpose, to stop seeking validation from others, start leading your own life. The community dives into everything from setting boundaries, developing emotional resilience, understanding the 4 archetypes of mature masculinity. It's deep, it's practical, and most importantly, it's effective. If you're ready to step up, move past your old habits, live a life driven by purpose, not fear, I highly recommend checking out Integrated Men. Go to integratedmen.net/Pacman to learn more and check out my interview with Adil, and check out also the quiz that is a short assessment for taking that first step. The link is in the description.